Hello, this is your online storyteller Pop Pop, and I want to share with you one of my stories from the book of Funtastic Adventures. There's the cover of the book and it's written about my grandsons, and I wrote the book, but I want to tell you one of the stories. About 50 years ago there was a popular song which was called the One-Eyed, One-Horned, Flying Purple People Eater. Now there are many children today who have never heard that song and know nothing about that flying purple people eater. I want to tell you why children don't know about the purple people eater, who actually was a dragon. Its mother was a typical green dragon, but when it was a baby she baptized it in a pond filled with grape juice, and it became so addicted to purple that it turned purple. No one knows why the mother baptized her baby dragon. Maybe she just dunked it, or maybe they were both enjoying a drink of grape juice. It certainly wasn't a Christian dragon or even a church member dragon. Anyway, I don't think dragons go to church. A few years later, that purple dragon found a cave and took a very long sleep for almost 47 years. Recently, a couple of years ago actually, it suddenly woke up. Now you can imagine that if you or anyone had been asleep for 47 years, you would be very hungry. So when it awoke, it was very, very hungry. So what do you think it wanted to eat? No, it wasn't going to McDonald's for a Happy Meal. This one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater wanted to eat people. This dragon had now grown pretty large, about 30 feet long, even though it had lost some weight. It had a rather long, thin neck with a big head, had one eye in the middle of its forehead and one thick, short horn in the middle of its head. Its wings were quite small and looked as though they would never fly large enough. But as soon as it had a couple of good meals, its wings would probably grow big and strong enough for it to take off to the skies. It was completely purple all the way through, although it looked as though it needed a good bath, because its colour was faded and dusty looking. But having a bath was not uttermost in its mind. It just wanted to eat, because it was really hungry. Also, if it could eat lots of people, its colour would come back. How come, you ask? Now I will let you into a secret. It really wasn't just a purple people eater, but its diet was purple people. So it wasn't such a bad creature, because if you weren't purple, you were pretty safe. Back in 1959, when it was young, there were hardly any purple people, so that's the reason it went to sleep. It couldn't find enough purple people to have as a good meal. When it woke up a few weeks ago, in a cave in Woodstock, Georgia, it had a better chance of finding purple people. Lots of teenagers today tattoo themselves with purple dye. They decorate their eyes with purple mascara. Many girls paint their nails purple, and some girls and boys dye their hair purple. So off the one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater went looking for a good meal. The dragon, let's call it that, because it's hard for me to keep writing or talking about the one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater, and it takes too long for some of you kids to read all those words or listen to me over and over again saying those words, so you might put the book down or turn me off thinking it's going to be long and boring, and then you would miss this silly story, true story but silly, and which would be a shame. As for the dragon, it wasn't even able to fly yet. As it crawled along, it suddenly saw a teenage girl with purple hair. What luck, it thought, and almost as quick as a flash, as it was still a bit slow because it hadn't eaten yet, ate all the hair off her head. It said to itself, I'm not sure if it was all that tasty. I thought it would taste like spaghetti, but it seemed a bit hairy to me, and it kind of stuck in my throat. Oh. The poor girl, who now had no hair, went running off down the street shouting, "I've lost my hair! I'm bald! I'm bald! A one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater!" Oops! That silly girl is supposed to just say dragon to you readers and listeners, so let's try again. "A dragon just ate my hair!" The dragon was still chasing the girl because she'd painted her fingernails and toenails purple. There was a good possibility that if that dragon caught up with that girl again, it would not only eat her fingernails and toenails, but in its excitement it might swallow her fingers and toes as well. It's one thing to lose your fingernails and toenails, but to lose your fingers and toes as well would be absolutely awful. It so happened that Jedi Zion and Jedi Judah, his brother, lived in Woodstock, and even though they were only 10 and 8 years of age, they were very brave Jedi Knights. They happened to be playing Star Wars in their front yard when their bald teenage girl came running past their house crying, "I'm bald! I'm bald!" "How come?" asked Jedi Zion and Jedi Judah. "A one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater just ate my hair," she cried, "and now it's after my fingers and toes." She couldn't say dragon this first time, as Jedi Zion and Jedi Judah had to hear it spelled completely once for the first time, so after that they could call it a dragon. "I thought you said it was flying," said Jedi Judah. "I think it will be able to if it can find more purple people to eat," the girl yelled. "Don't worry," replied Jedi Zion. "My brother Jedi Judah can fix this dragon with our little sister Ines' purple ball. She has lots of pink and purple clothes and toys, and she likes to play Cinderella. She thinks she is Princess Cinderella. She's not quite 4 yet," added Judah. "Get on with it, Judah," said Zion. "We haven't got all day. That dragon is nearly upon us." "Sorry." Judah gathered his thoughts. "Now, where was I? Yes, I remember. The dragon might think the ball is a purple person's head." So Jedi Judah fired the purple ball at the dragon's mouth. "Eat this!" he shouted. And it wasn't hard for Jedi Judah to shout, because he could shout loud. Very loud, even louder than his big brother Jedi Zion, and I can tell you that's absolutely true. The dragon was delighted and opened its mouth and swallowed the ball. With a loud bang, it burst and so startled the dragon that Jedi Zion, as quick as a flash, went behind the dragon and grabbed the hold of its purple tail. He then pulled it around to the dragon's mouth and said, "I have a purple arm, why don't you eat it?" The dragon roared, "Thanks," and began to eat its own tail, which it thought was Jedi Zion's arm. "This is delicious," the dragon said. "Yum, yum, just what I needed," and it began to gobble up its own tail, which was of course attached to the rest of its body. "Why don't you cook my brother's arm?" cried Jedi Judah. "It will taste better." "A good idea," the dragon replied, and breathed fire on its tail. It all tasted so good that the dragon kept on eating, saying, "Ouch, ouch, yum, yum." The dragon wasn't very bright and kept thinking to itself, "Why am I getting smaller? I should be getting bigger eating this yummy food." But it tasted so good it couldn't stop, so with more mouthfuls of good purple food to eat, it said again, "Yum, ouch, yum, ouch, yum, ouch," until it finally ate itself up. Well, not quite. Its teeth were left, because you can't eat your own teeth. Otherwise you have no teeth to chew your teeth with. The amazing thing was that brave Jedi Zion and Jedi Judah destroyed the dragon without ever having to use their Jedi lightsabers. Jedi Zion and Jedi Judah used the dragon's teeth to make themselves a necklace each. If you would like to see them wearing their dragon's purple teeth, you can email them and they will download a picture to you. The teenage girl was so happy that Jedi Zion and Jedi Judah had gotten rid of the dragon. She wanted to make them her heroes, but Jedi Zion didn't like that, as he doesn't like girls much, even girls that are his own age, let alone teenage girls. although Jedi Judah had let her call him a hero, for she was pretty even though she was bald, Zion wouldn't let him. Zion just said, "That's okay, miss, it's all in a day's work." But the teenage girl went and told all her purple friends about the brave and valiant Jedi Zion and Jedi Judah. And even to this day, many people in Woodstock, Georgia talk about the mighty deeds of Jedi Zion and Jedi Judah. But the boys don't want the embarrassment of having to sign autographs for screaming teenage girls, especially the ones who attend their church. When their mum heard the commotion outside, she came running out asking, "What's going on?" "We just destroyed a dragon," replied Judah. "Well, if you want to play Knights and Dragons, please make less noise," said their mum. If you don't have an email address and you ever get to meet Jedi Zion and Jedi Judah, ask them to show you their dragon's purple teeth necklaces. I think they hide them in their bedroom when they're not wearing them. I wonder what adventures are in store in Jedi Zion and Jedi Judah next story. Well, if you want to know, go to Fantasy Publications, fantasypublications.com, and you can click on and you can see the book, and you can even see a video of the boys fighting many opponents in those stories. Well, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.